Today I'm going to show you my stamps of Greenland. Greenland is a North American autonomous territory of the Kingdom of Denmark. It's the largest island in the world and is located between the Arctic Ocean and the North Atlantic Ocean, northeast of Canada and northwest of Iceland. So you can see it in the map. It's actually the Arctic Ocean on top. I don't know if you can see it. I cannot see it myself. And then you got that Atlantic Ocean, and you got the Iceland in here, and Canada. Now, the capital of Greenland is Nuuk. A little bit of a history. Greenland was discovered by the Norwegian Viking, Erik the Red, around the year 982, more or less. Erik the Red was living in Iceland, and he was involved in some crime. He murdered somebody, and then he was sentenced to exile for 3 years. So he took his family and some other people and went looking for a place where to live, right? So eventually he arrived to Greenland, to this island, and he called it Greenland because he thought, hey, that's a good name. You know, it's Greenland, that will attract more settlers. After the exile time, he went back to Iceland and some other places, but mainly he spent most of his life in Greenland. Eventually, he died in there, and you know, at that time he was the chief of that settlement. So when he died, one of his sons, Leif Erikson, became the chief of that settlement. Leif Erikson, he's also another famous explorer, Viking. He did some other discoveries in North America, but I guess we're just going to stop with the Vikings now and look at the stamps. Oh, one more point, that the official language is the Greenlandic. Now, the first stamps from this Danish colony that was at that time were issued in 1938. Okay, so there was a set of 9 stamps. So you see these first 2 that are part of the 9 stamps, the first set. So you see that the King of Denmark, this is a Christian X, and you see on top that this is in Danish, like Greenland, but it's actually Greenland, right, for us. You see the currency is ore, so 5 ore. 100 ore is equals to 1 Danish krone. Now, also you see KGL, right? KGL is an abbreviation of a Danish word that means royal. So it's royal post, right? Now, so the king is with his, he was an admiral, so with his clothes, admirals, some icebergs on the back, and some of the other stamps of the same set, they were actually the higher values, this polar bear. This is 1938. So soon after the World War II started, right? And so they were initially getting the stamps from Denmark, but Denmark, you know, during the war was invaded by the Nazis. And so there was no communication really between Denmark and Greenland. So, and they were running short of supplies. So what did they do? So people from Greenland went to New York City, and they talked to the American banknote company, and they asked them to print some stamps for Greenland. So they provide all the specs and pictures, you know, whatever way, anything that they wanted on the stamps. So the American banknote company created the stamps, created 9 stamps. You know, we're going to see it later. This is just one of them. Actually, it's a seal in here, so it's a typical with Greenland and the Royal Post, everything. These stamps, actually, they are known as the American issue, right? And so they were issued, but soon after, actually, Denmark was liberated. So they overprinted the stamps, the 9 stamps, with something like a Denmark is free. That overprint is a kind of dark blue, and some of them were red. So 2 different colors. Now the date in here is a little tricky. This date it says this is May 5th, 1945. Actually, you are going to see later when they celebrate that the liberation of Denmark, they name May 4th. I'm not exactly sure why they did this. It has to be a reason, but there is a little discrepancy between May 5th and May 4th. The first 2 rows are the first set of stamps, so you see the king here with the funny hat and the polar bear. It's just different colors. Now, really, you see the stamps is actually just 1 color and white, right? That's pretty much what they are. And now, then it comes that American banknote company stamps are these 9 stamps in here. Now, they have more colors, at least 2 or 3 colors, depends. Yeah. So they are seals, and then you see the king in here. This is a dog sled, and polar bear, and it's a kayak, and this is some kind of duck from there. Okay, so these were the first stamps that they were issued, and then later it came the overprinted stamps, right? So same stamps, some overprinted in red and some in dark blue. And everything is good. Now, this number that you see here, this number, the American Banknote Company wrote in the margins, right? Is let me see what is that, F1182, and then it's a 6 in there. So the 6 didn't come out, but so that was the way to identify that they were printed by the American Banknote Company. Now, so far so good. Now it comes a problem. There are varieties of these overprinted stamps. So six of the stamps, so not the first 3, so the last 6, there is a variety of them. And I have just one type of variety, but I think there is more than that. And so what's going to happen is whatever is overprinted with blue is going to be overprinted with red. If it's red, it's going to be blue. So we're going to see it in here. Okay, so if you see, for example, this one in here, the 5 chronos, you see it in blue, here you see red, right? So what's happening in here? Some people are thinking that these are bogus stamps. This variety is a bogus variety. It's not something that just happened by error or anything. Simply like somebody did it on purpose. This. Now, if you look at the SCAT catalog, these are listed in there as good stamps, and actually their value is higher. Is higher than that regular. So at least there's a variety, and a little more expensive. They are not extremely expensive, but they are more expensive. Now, the people who believe that these are real, they are saying, hey, these stamps has been validated, has been certified by experts, so I got this certificate that tell me that this. Now, the people who are thinking that these are bogus stamps, they are saying, hey, yes, that certificate is just to certify that these are genuine bogus stamps. Well, who knows? They are mentioning that people who might have been involved and to this are New York City dealers that Stolo brothers. So there is a whole story here, but because the Scat catalog still is listing this as valid, I'm not going to go any farther than this. Maybe somebody else can really look into the real thing. Okay, so the war is over, and then so there are some more stamps of the king, and now see again, see the colors. Because now these stamps are coming from Denmark again, so you don't get a variety of colors, right? That's pretty much just a one color and white, pretty much. Okay, so here you just get these are polar ship here. And these stamps are the same as this one. This yes, they has a stamp in there, has been used stamps. This that the value has been changed, overwritten the value. Now the next set of stamp, this 5 in here, there are showing some traditions, some local stories that they have. So here there is a man with a drum, and there are some legends, different things. This is supposed to be a boy and a fox. This is that the queen of the sea, this woman. Here is a girl and an eagle, and this is the great northern diver with a raven in here. Continue. Now you have here Hans Egget. So this is just celebrating, his life. He was a famous missionary, very important for Greenland. Next, you have Knut Rasmussen. He was an explorer, and he went to this area in the north of Greenland, Thule, and he created this. It's like a station in there, and here they are celebrating 50 years of that station. Now, these are the Northern Lights in here. So they print these stamps. The ones below are exactly the same. It's just because they have a seal stamp there.
What about that symbol in the upper left corner? It looks like a couple of harpoons. Is that what that is?
Yeah, I'm not sure of that. So here, this is the next king, Frederick the Ninth. That's the next king. And you have more polar bears.
They seem to use polar bears on the high value stamps. It's become a
Yeah, they like polar bears. That's right. Yeah, this is Niels Bohr. He got actually the Nobel of Physics. Here is celebrating again 50 years. He wrote this atomic theory. So I guess that's what they're celebrating here. And that's just different value. Now, this one here, Samuel Kleinsmith, he's very important, this person. This is, I guess, the when he was born and when he died. He was a missionary and a linguistic. So he wrote that grammar for the Greenlandic language. And he translated most of the Bible to Greenland. Now, what we notice in here that didn't appear so far is you see the word on top in here. So this is Kalalit Nunat, right? So that's the way they call Greenland in Greenlandic. Actually, it doesn't translate to Greenland because this is the land of the Kalalit, right? But before, never was in a stamp. So since now on, it's going to be almost in all the stamps. It's not in the next, but it's going to be almost in every single stamp. So that's their way for the Greenlandic people to call Greenland, thanks to the grammar created by Kleinsmith. Oh, and by the way, this spelling is going to change a little bit with time. So you're going to see it at one point, it's going to be spelled a little bit different. Because I guess that the grammar, maybe they did some correction later. The next stamp is just to celebrate the engagement of that Princess Margaret. She's the daughter of Frederick, the King Frederick the Ninth. Now, the next stamp, you see the king with a Greenland in the map in here, and you see, like now you're going to see it everywhere, right? The Kalalit Nunat is going to be everywhere. Now, what's here? The next is a set of stamps. These are like large mammals, you know, like whales and the polar bears, walruses. That's the set of stamps. This one in here, this is celebrating 25 years of that independence of Denmark from the Nazis, right? So now you see here, it's May 4th. That's what they use, right? So no May 5th, so it's May 4th. Okay, this is just celebrating that, what is this? But I think it's related to the recolonization of Greenland, you know, so they came back, I think 1721, yeah. The next set of stamps in here is to commemorate the way mail was delivered in Greenland. So they are saying at one point was delivered by kayaks. I guess here on the back you have the mail in different ways. Here they're saying they went in their plane and they throw these parachutes through the mail. And this is a dog sled. And so different ways the mail was used to be delivered. That's what they're saying. Okay, what is next? Now, Princess Margaret became Queen Margaret. So this is 1972. So now, Queen Margaret actually was queen up to this year, you know, 2024. This year she abdicated. She didn't abdicate because she was sick, and so her son Frederick X is the king now of Denmark.
The spelling has changed now.
That's interesting in here. See, it changed, but actually in here they mix it, right? Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
They mix it. For I guess for people to notice, say it used to be this and now it's that, maybe. Yeah. So later on, even you're going to see it. Yeah. Some they have some type of accent. This is some telecommunication celebration, 50 years telecommunications. Now, these stamps in here, this is called that Sirius patrol. So this is a dog sled, but military patrol. They said this is the only one in the world that is done by the dog sleds. And so these are a special elite people from Denmark is patrolling that some part of the Arctic sun territories that they belong to Denmark. So then now we have different artifacts, you know, from that people, local people there, the Inuit, the local people, or Kalalit too, as they call it. Then some more, what is this is, I guess, soldiers, locals, and a priest, I guess, is some activities happening here, celebrating 150 years of maybe the recolonization of Greenland. Let's see some more local activities in Greenland here. And then you have the Queen again, some more stamps of the Queen. Then you have, this is just some local fishes, some different local activities, more maybe some carvings or, yes, some artifacts, local artifacts, people. And this is actually that Kendrick, he's the prince who married Queen Margaret. And this is Ingrid, the Queen Mother. You know, so he was the wife of Frederick IX. Now, these are flags of that Denmark, the post office. This is really showing like a post office. That's the way to identify a post office in there. Some more artifacts of the Inuit people. Now, so this is pretty much the last stamp in my collection. So it's around 1987. So this is like a souvenir sheet, small souvenir sheet. Actually says 1987 here though. Kalalit, no, not. No, that's the way. Now, these other ones are semi-postal stamps. Most of them, they are already repeated stamps. Some are different stamps. Now, these two stamps in here, it's more, I think it's like 8 stamps. I only have 2 of these. These are parcel stamps. These stamps were issued actually a lot earlier than the mailing stamps. This issue around 1905. The reason for these stamps was to send parcels from Greenland to Copenhagen. Now, what you see in here, you don't see the name of a country in here. This is probably like a package, parcel, something like that, probably. Yeah, but no name of the country. But this is the Greenland coat of arms of that.
These have perforation varieties.
Right. There are, yes. So they used this until the mailing stamps were issued in 1938. Then they stopped using these stamps. Okay, so then these other stamps in here, these are Thule stamps. So they were issued, they were local stamps really. They were issued to commemorate that when, I don't know if you can see it in here, but Knut Rasmussen picture is in here. It's a little hard to see because of the stamp, but that's his picture in here. And when he created this trading mission in Thule, you know, so here they are saying this is 25 years since the creation of the Thule. Now, these are just blocks of the same stamps that we have seen it. Now, these are, how do you call it, Cinderella stamps. I think that's what you call it, right? Cinderella stamps. So there are more, I think they are Christmas stamps. They don't have a value. So you just can attach it to the stamps in Christmas. And same thing with these ones too. You actually see the word Christmas in here.
Those look like Christmas seals.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so this is the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Sam?